Okay, so this is me going all the way back to as further back as I could think of in order to solve this puzzle of this crime. Now, I'm going to end this game if I have to do any of those sequences, dream things all over again, play those puzzles all over again. I'll quit the game. If I can't skip past that to get towards the end, I'm going to consider those blockades to blight my path from actually finish because those are basically unnecessary in the game for you to play all over again. So once you complete them, they should be done and over with. If you have to do them all over again and play them all over again, it becomes a testament of annoyance rather than a solution towards completing the game. So hopefully I never have to do those again. But as far as I could see, I could bypass those to go back to redo certain cases in the past. However, here's the thing: you have to pick the exact location for which you have to go back and to find out the exact location of where certain situations might pop up that you need um, the exact type of outcome in order to save the character towards the end. A set, save A set towards the end. Um, or however you want ISIS towards the end so she don't get killed. So you could discover who came into the location and took her eye and then she dies. So the whole knifing in the back dream thing, and dying in the dream is simply kind of like a metaphor for the person actually doing that um, in real life, but not within on her body, but in her mind. She has knives going all the way in her body, in her mind. So her she's been stabbed multiple times in the head, so she automatically dies or something like that. But her physical eye was removed while she was in the dream world, which means the killer was inside the room. So we have to now go back to whatever crime scene that could lead us to said killer. And the only way to do that is to not pick certain options that are associated with the people who are not the obvious choice. You have to go with the obvious choice people first, and eventually select others after. Um, so it's not like this game will give you the option to make certain buttons disappear after a while. You have to basically select all. So you have to basically select which one comes first and which one comes second. Otherwise, you won't be able to get the outcome you want. It's not like you could put these things to the side and then make a deduction or something. This game is not to that level of solution based. You basically have to play the game within the parameters of how the game is set, rather than make something that's extremely simple and obvious, which the people who made this game did not do. Um, so yeah, apparently you have to play it the way they want it, rather than just state, can I move these interactive buttons and put these case files over here and put these case files over here and put this, and the ones I want to go to, I go to. Apparently you can't do that in this game. So that's the patheticness of this game. But who knows? I'm gonna try to see a method in order to. But as far as I could see, this game is can never go beyond 6. Anyone who has this game in the higher regards, I think they have a peanuts for brains. So that's all I could say about that. Um, let's move forward. Hopefully, I don't have to do this crap over again.
Oh, darn.
Are you kidding me? A criminal serving a life sentence just escaped from Metro Police. I ordered everyone to keep quiet about this, but it's only a matter of time before the press sniffs this out. We need to get number 89 back before then.
So I'm only gonna pick answers I believe that will stall the killer, so that they don't go in and kill ASAP. And the killer could be anyone, to be honest with you. But I believe that Pewter is associated with the killer. So I'm gonna do something to try to stall the killer, or whoever I assume the killer might be, because it's obviously not Pewter. So here's, I guess it doesn't matter whichever. See, the thing is in this game is so stupid. You don't know which one will actually stall them. For all you know, don't apologize might actually infuriate them, or apologizing might infuriate them even more. So there's no way of you knowing which one to stall them. It's not like the game has given you hints on the actually character behaviors of what would trigger the character or what would not trigger the character. This character, the boss, is someone who likes things to be happy, to keep her happy because she's in a dreary place, and she likes to be happy about certain things. So apologizing to her might actually make her feel good, but making her feel good might actually make her more motivated to do things further rather than stall her. But don't apologize might infuriate her to make her go and kill someone. So I'm just gonna pick the answer that the game would stupidly want based on the character behavior of each individual. So I'm just gonna apologize.
Boss, it's my fault he got away. I'm sorry.
Don't waste time apologizing. Go catch him. I'm the one who has to go on an apology tour now. You really messed up this time.
And you see that? If I didn't apologize, she might not have said anything. She might have said, okay, good, you go do your job. But because this character likes to be positive, I pick a positive result, but the positive result end up being something negative. So this game is all over the place. It doesn't actually make logical sense for its own existence. The boss is supposed to be someone who's self-assured, but she doesn't exactly follow rules. So if she doesn't actually follow rules, then apologizing would be something that a person who follows the rules will actually respond to, which she does. But she doesn't follow the rules because she has everything else, so she's both up and down at the same time. So she's fickle that way. So either decision wouldn't matter. And Pewter, no matter what I say to Pewter, he's the accomplice towards whoever the killer is, so he's not going to be the killer unless whatever I said to him stalls the killer. It's like if I ask where's number 89, he's not going to tell me where number 89 is. And even if he did, how is that going to stall the killer? By asking about him. Where's my gun? That might infuriate him even more to stall me from giving me my gun. How did he get away? By questioning how did he get away, I might actually get information from Pewter to say how he got away. That he might make up a lie, so it doesn't really matter. If I just ask where, a mundane question, he will just make up some random lie. If I ask where's my gun, like, he might tell me where my gun is for real, or he might automatically assume that I want to go and kill number 89 or something like that. And since I've already played it, that the gun and he won't be able to operate his gun because Peter turns out to be associated with the bad guy. Knowing the gun and having the gun won't be anything relevant anyway, because he could just disarm me from having my gun. So if I ask him how do you get away, Peter might stumble, and his stumble might lead me towards the killer.
He punched out an officer and stole his clothes. He put on the uniform and brought me with him at gunpoint. Well, he had the gun in his pocket, hiding it. No one on the floor even knew this was happening. He got on the elevator and made it to the ground floor. He even stole my security card. He said he'd kill me if I tried anything. I suppose the whole escape took him about 5 minutes. He must have planned this.
You're rather calm about all this.
I'm coming down from being terrified for my life. I'm in a bit of a fugue state right now.
Yeah, we already know Peter is lying, so it doesn't really matter. So now that I selected that option is the first to disappear. So now I could go for the whole gun thing.
Number 89
Apparently,
still has it.
in this stupid
But
game,
don't worry.
you have to select
I
one
have a
first
spare.
rather than the one
Give
you
it to you
want.
later. How would I know? After he got to the exit, he let me go. I didn't see where he went. I collapsed right there.
So basically, in this game, you have to select the exact answer in order to get to where you go. You can't do process of elimination, the same process of elimination type investigative game. This is basically you select what the game wants you to select, then you move forward.
Date,
It's unbelievable.
I know you are already aware of this, but there are security cameras all over this compound. I checked all of them. Number 89 fled in a car that was waiting for him.
So he had an accomplice.
Yes,
Did you see who was driving?
I did.
Who was it?
You and I know him well.
Renju?
Renju?
Why?
Date, Moma is calling.
Moma? From the Kumakuras?
I'll connect him.
Hey, Dante. I just got the word. Renju's been seen.
What? Where?
Hey, don't forget our deal.
Deal? What deal?
You forgot already? I'm talking about Tessa.
Oh, right.
I'll be waiting. You know what to do.
What should we do?
We have no choice. We have to take her.
To Moma?
Yes.
Oh my gosh! Late, 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 late. You're late.
I'm going home.
Never! Have you forgotten the vows you exchanged?
Are you drunk?
Okay, so here's another one. Where I decide to take her will probably lead her straight to her things leading to her death. So the first one I chose was to the dragon, and the dragon revealed that there's certain information that Renju was sighted, so on and so forth. And because I chose the dragon, he showed up to the warehouse to assist me with regards to the criminal location. Now, if I go into the gangster bar, the place where we almost got kidnapped by the people associated with Renju, things might have gone differently. And to a Yakuza office building. Now, why would I take her to a Yakuza office building? Like, all of these are bad, because where the dragon is kind of aligned with the Yakuza office building, so they're pretty much the same. And the gangster bar, well, it's not really associated with the Yakuza boss. And a nice place. I didn't pick a nice place, so everything else is associated with gangster, so now I'm just going to pick a nice place. It's probably going to take me directly to the dragon regardless.
A nice place? I wonder where. I'm excited!
See? It all leads to the Kamakura. So no matter what you choose, it would have gone to Kamakura. But apparently, decisions, no matter which button you press, well, eventually leads to the same outcome. But whatever button you press first apparently has to be the correct button of regardless of what outcome is going to happen. So before I pick Kamakura's, now I'm going to pick a nice place and see maybe something different will happen. So who knows? Maybe, maybe not.
Where are we?
An office, as you can see. One belonging to the Kumakura gang.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This time, I didn't select to come here. I selected the nice place. And he brought her here, regardless. So all the decisions to bring her to a different location all led to coming to Kamakura gang hideout, regardless. So this is what this game is about. This game is about selecting the right buttons, and every other button leads to the same decisions. So they all lead to the same thing, but you have to pick the right one leading to the same thing. Now, how the hell would anyone know that? That's not like really investigation stuff. You could say that's process of elimination and deduction, but if I already know who the person might be, why can't I go to the... See, you have to play the game the way the people want you to play the game, not the way you want to play the game. So I'm already suspecting that it's Hitomi, or it's the boss, or it's Aiba under control of Pewter in association with Hitomi or the boss. It can't be Renju, otherwise the game's a fail if it's Renju, because he's the most obvious. And it can't be like, I don't know, it can't be Aset right here being an alien and stuff, because I already thought she was the actually bad person. And if it turns out to be that she's the bad guy, then I wouldn't technically be wrong, because I always thought her as the bad guy to begin with. So the game is playing this footsie with all the people I thought were my suspects, and I still are my suspects. The only people I don't want it to be is I don't want it to be Renju. And I really don't want it to be Hitomi either, even though Hitomi is one of my suspects. Because it's so obvious that it's Hitomi. It's so obvious that it's Renju. I said this before, I say it again. I prefer it to be the boss. I prefer the bad guy to be Aset herself. I prefer actually to be Aiba that's gone rogue or something. I don't want it to be Renju, and I don't want it to be Hitomi. Said that from the first time I came across Hitomi, and I said that from the first time I came across Renju. They're the most obvious people for it to be the criminals. So apparently I have to pick the exact button in this little conversation from now on. How the hell would I know which is the exact button? I don't know. I mean, I already, based on deduction, I already put certain files together in my head and put them in a section. The game is not playing according to my rules, even though I already know kind of where it's going. I have to follow its stupid systematic setup in order to get to where I need to go. Fine, I'll play by its rules. It's dumb, and this interactive button doesn't help you to actually piece things together like a true case files, but whatever.
I see. A gang. I see. This isn't nice at all. This is more like mice. Like rats.
Oh, Tessa, come on now. I'm no rat. I'm a friend.
Real suspicious for a friend.
Don't look at me like that, Tessa. That's no good.
Momo, I held up my end of the deal.
You sure did. You want to hear about Renju?
Mr. Okiura?
I don't care about Renju. If I select everything that has to do with Renju, and it might actually turn out the same situation, she might die. I have to make sure I select the first thing I select has to be the correct answer. Otherwise, if I select the same thing as before, it might lead to her Asa dying again. But why do I care about his goons? That's an expensive room. About Renju's tip.
Why do you care?
Can I have it?
What?
Can I have the ring?
Why would I give it to you?
Hey, can I have the ring?
Absolutely, of course you can. Here, take it. Wait, no. give you this.
You're so cheap.
Come on, it's not like you're losing it.
It's exactly like I'm losing it.
Aw.
You guys are a good team. Like siblings.
Okay, so moving forward, after the first one disappears, I guess the second and the third one won't matter as much or have any relevance. So I'm not going to pick anything that directs me towards Renju. I'll pick everything, and I'll pick Renju as the last option.
They're out. Looking for Renju. Besides, I can't have them here seeing me like this.
Good point.
Now I have to pick Renju. Actually, you know what? I won't pick Renju. I'll just speak to Iris. Sincerely apologize and introduce Moma about Renju. I won't ask anything about Renju. And if I sincerely apologize to her, how would that prevent her from dying? She might accept my apology in her head. I don't want to introduce her to Momo, so I'll ignore that.
Sorry for bringing you here.
It's okay.
You don't have to be scared, Tessa. We're not thugs.
That is contradictory.
The old boss was really violent.
He would take a cheese grater to someone's leg if they looked at him funny.
But after I took over, we went crystal clean.
Crystal.
Methamphetamines.
No, we don't do drugs. We don't deal with that stuff. We had to restructure the whole operation.
Why aren't you picking Renju?
Cut?
The throats.
I'm not picking Renju because Aset got killed at the end. Spoiler alert, I already reached the end of the game. Apparently, if you failed, she dies. So the game forces you to pick the right decision to get the proper outcome to find out who the killer is. This game actually ends and you will never find out who the killer is if Aset dies. So if I pick all things associated with people who might actually be the killer, she's gonna die anyway. Before I picked Renju in the past and she ended up being dead. So if I don't want her to die, I have to now think, playing by this game's rules, how she's not going to die. Because this is not like Sherlock Holmes, where you can put things in files and, oh, this person is the killer, based on deductions. Okay, here's my case files, put right in front of the table. You're the killer. This game doesn't do that. This game plays footsies, put sugar-coated toppings, put things in your path to block your path, and make you redo certain things just to make sure you select the right outcome that it wants, not that what you want. So now I can't pick Renju. I have to pretend.
Paranoid. The story only branches insomnia.
I'm 24.
Moma is lying.
Trust me.
He is at least 48.
It's not exactly how you think. If you're playing a game based on intelligence,
Sorry
this
for
ain't that
introducing
game.
myself.
That's why I was telling the last guy before.
I
This
work
game
for
don't have that type of
prestigious
intelligence.
advertising agency.
That's why your thinking is paranoid. It's not paranoid.
Right?
The game is just
You're like
not
a
that
mob
smart.
boss.
Whoever thought about
How
it.
did you know that?
Is he stupid?
Whoever made this game was not that smart. The answer is not Insomnia.
What are you talking about?
He's a huge Aset fan.
You don't know what I'm
Well, I
talking
mean,
about because
I don't
you didn't
know
watch all those other videos
Huge
before.
fan.
Gambling.
Bet, death, ASAP.
Worries.
Forget, fret, ASAP.
If you had watched all those videos,
Now,
you
what
would
does
know
she
what I'm
say?
talking about.
ASAP, you bet.
I already had my
Great.
list of
Thank
suspects. You see, let me explain to you since you haven't been here. I have all my suspects. Suspect 1, Aset. Suspect 2, Pewter. Suspect 3, what's her name? Hitomi. Suspect 4, Aiba. Those were my 4 suspects from the second video, not the first video, from the second video playing this game. I'm up to my 10th video now. Those were my 4 suspects, and I kept those 4 suspects from the very beginning all the way to the end here. This game is not playing by my rules, it's playing by its own rules in Somnium World and in reality. So even if I know who the killer is, it's not going to let me get there the way it wants to. It's going to let me get there the way it wants to. So I already know it's not Renju, but the game is going to play footsie with me to kick me around so that I have to play by its rules before it reveals who it actually is. So I have to follow by its rules. That's why I don't like it.
This is kind of embarrassing.
That's why I consider this a 6 game most. It will never go beyond 6 for me. I got the ending where she got killed while she was in the psych machine, because that game forced me to go and use the psych machine. I did not want to use the psych machine, but the game forced me to use the psych machine. Because it's based on, apparently I picked decisions associated with Renju, and then put me into the room where I have to use the psych machines to save Aset. Because this was all planned by whoever the killer was to lead her to this location within the warehouse. And Mr. Genius Dante decided to hook her up to the psych machine, even though I told the game, like, I don't want to hook her up to the psych machine, but the game did it anyway because the game doesn't care what the player wants.
Why are you replaying from the beginning?
I don't like gangsters.
Oh, I'm not playing from the beginning. I'm not playing from the beginning. I'm playing from a certain section. See, let me show you. You could go into menus, and you could follow the flow chart, and the flow chart will allow you.
It's a flow chart.
Yeah, there's a flow chart. The flow chart will allow you to go backwards towards a certain section, and that's where I went back to. I went back to where Aset was alive, and I met her, and now I'm back here. So that's it. And yeah, that's why I did it. And I'm pretty sure you just peaced out, dude. So why are you asking me questions if you're just gonna show up and peace out, and you're assuming I don't know that there's a flow chart? You didn't even watch the videos in the past before. You just showed up and automatically assumed that I didn't know that there was a flow chart. Come on, man. You either get with the program and watch the past videos, or don't tell me how to play the game. I already evaluated everything from the beginning of this game to the end. I kinda know who the killer is.
Just
And I'm not
like
paranoid.
Mizuki's Somniums, that's where the story branches.
Just, what? Just repeat this, Isis or Mizuki Somnium. That's where the story. Okay, I see what you're saying.
I don't like all those nasty Yakuza.
Well, I have no choice but to talk about Renju now.
What happened to Mr. Okura? I heard he
It's in the
escaped the
flow
hospital.
chart. That's where the line divides.
Mizuki?
So did I, but I don't know anything more than...
Please tell me.
Alright, so let me see. Flowchart. Mizuki, huh? This, I'll be honest with you, man, this flowchart is kind of pathetic. Okay, so this is the mother. Okay, so this is the beginning of the game, where I didn't found this Shoko Nazami. It's not there, and it's definitely not here because that's like an introduction of where the psych world is. And then I found Hitomi, and I saw her being killed in a dream. So it didn't branch out there.
Mizuki's Somnium.
Mizuki's Somnium, yeah. So I might have to go back to Mizuki's Somnium. This is the lead psych world. That's not it either.
Look at the line.
Undiscovered.
It literally turns into 2 at that point.
Monday psych. This one branches out this way. This one branches here. This is here.
That's another branch.
Yeah. Well, there's multiple branches. I'm trying to look for the Mizuki one. I mean, if it's actually the Mizuki one, wouldn't it show like Mizuki's face on it? I mean, this is why I say this game is not good. If it's actually...
It's on the red line.
Okay, this is the red line here. And it branches out. So I guess this is it. I mean, let me look at case files. Mizuki's heart, yeah. Alright, so there are two separate ones.
Funnily enough, the sequel fixes that. The Somnium hates the face of the subject.
Yeah, I mean, I see it. It's just that here's the thing. I saw those two before. I didn't know which one to pick. I want to pick the correct one so I don't go towards playing this game again, because it's bad in certain things, certain ways. So I guess I have to do it. I mean, well, here's the thing. Why would the killer associate with Mizuki's one? I mean, I already know based on everything I've discovered from Mizuki. And I've already put certain things.
One. You have to do all branches to get the whole mystery.
Oh my god. And this is what I was saying before, man. That's incredibly stupid. Why do you have to do the whole damn thing just to get the whole damn mystery? If you have enough intelligence to figure out what the hell is going on, why do I need the game to reveal the whole thing for me? If I already know who the killer might be, why can't I go directly towards the killer? Why do I need to play the whole goddamn game in order to just see the killer?
Nothing. I was merely trying to enter the scene like a cybernetic assassin.
This is why I say this is not like Sherlock Holmes. I have to literally unlock everything just to get towards the killer. That's bad.
Maybe this is representative of Mizuki's state of mind.
The fact that Shoko was killed here must weigh heavily on Mizuki's heart.
Mizuki should be inside that column.
To get the information we need, we will have to deal with the lightning and the cage and get to Mizuki.
Move fast, or time is going to run out.
Unnecessary. Look around.
Look around?
The game is a whole different story if you pick the other branch.
You can stop time.
It's all about the butterfly
Only when
effect.
standing still. Time is moving incredibly
Oh dear
slowly.
Lord, it's all about
Currently,
butterfly
you
effect.
and I are
I
transmitting
said that
information
before
at
in a
high
past
speed.
video.
So it
I
only
said,
appears
oh
that the
geez,
time
if
has
this
stopped.
game is like the butterfly
Are you
effect,
familiar with the concept of time dilation?
It has to
then
do with
where the
relativity,
hell,
right?
how is this a
Two
murder
people
mystery?
Can experience time differently depending
I
on
mean,
space-time.
if this truly is a
This is
butterfly
similar to
effect,
that.
then this
The
will
flow
take
of
me
time in
forever just
Somnium
to,
is different than
well,
the real
not
world.
for forever,
This
but
could be useful.
I
You can
thought I
only
was
stay in
playing a murder
Somnium for
mystery
6
game.
minutes, right? But with this,
Turns out I'm
you can
playing the
take your time
butterfly
and explore.
effect.
Let's get started. Somnium scan. Activate.
First thing there was a murder mystery. Then second there was Yakuza. Then third there was this evil science organization. Then there's cultist followers that worship devils. Now there's butterfly effect. This game is all over the place, man.
To reach Mizuki, something must be done about the lightning that keeps striking the birdcage.
Lightning's supposed to strike at the highest point.
An ice pick piercing Shoko's photograph.
Aiba, speaker.
Basically, depending on what you do on the dream, you get one clue or the other that makes you investigate other leads. It's both about the
I
me.
see. It must be connected to the ice pick.
What do we do here?
Healing Mizuki should be your top priority.
I know.
A speaker. A speaker. This? Is there not a smarter way?
Can't think of one.
You have quite the muscle brain, don't you?
Yeah, but it's a strong muscle.
I suppose I have no choice.
See, the problem with this is on the timer. And if you're not fast enough on the timer, then you might end up making the wrong decision. And the game might actually knows this and does things based on critical decision making. And you have to be fast enough. But you might trip and make the wrong decisions, and then you get a different branching path than the one you actually choose, which is contradictory towards actually real criminal investigation, where you're not supposed to go fast. You're supposed to take your time and evaluate everything, fine-tooth comb. So that's the contradiction in this whole investigation in this game. It doesn't follow that logic. It goes on critical decision making based on time.
Stop. Time is a resource to use.
Yeah, I know.
The pillar became a lightning rod.
Maybe you should have pulled the pick out.
What? Wait. Did you...
Anyway, let's keep going. As long as the cage is there, we can't get to Mizuki.
The lightning is no longer an issue. Even with all of my might, I do not think I could lift the cage.
Where's the map? Okay, so originally I pulled up that thing to stop the lightning, and then I went directly towards the panda. So I remember how I got to Mizuki, and I pulled up the lightning rod, I kicked the panda's head into the air, it went out, and this thing flew all the way up. I went inside the door and got into a world. So maybe I have to select the other one that's under the bird cage? Who knows? Okay, let's see.
The control room. What is
I'll
your
select the
plan?
different
It
one.
is a control room.
I do not think it will be that easy.
Just try. I didn't expect to see this inside.
I do not see an exit either.
But there's something suspicious here.
I see 2 bird cages.
Okay, so now I'm not gonna pick the balloons. I'm gonna pick the other one.
Agent Date, you've got 5 minutes.
I'm gonna pick the other one, not the balloons.
A bird cage. There are ripped pieces of paper.
This whole dream thing is weirdy. From the very beginning. Lifting it up, she probably won't be able to lifting up. Tackling it, I don't know. Peek inside won't probably do anything. So maybe tackling it. Well then, did I do the same thing to her? I lifted up. No, I looked inside first on the other one.
Let's see.
What is it?
It looks like a picture of something.
Picture?
A bird cage. There are ripped pieces of paper inside.
Okay. So what the hell was the other one with the balloons and all that nonsense? To make the... Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna try to figure out.
All right, leave it to me. It is heavier than it looks.
Okay, so both of them can unblock mental lock. It doesn't really matter which one you pick. The
And this
ones
is
with
one
the
of branches.
yeah, I know there are different branches. I'm just saying, like,
All I did was move the cage.
all I'm saying is that I have to play by the game's rules.
There are torn pieces
Even
of
if I
paper.
figure out who the killer really is, I have to do what the game says. I cannot go directly in the path I want. I have to go to the path the game tells me to go. Roll up, and toss. Why would I roll it up and toss it? Kick away. Well, the other one, when I lifted, the balloons went into the air, and thus make the carousel go into the air. Piece together makes the most logical sense. Kick away. That's worse. Roll up and tossed. All weirdy
Leave it to
decisions,
me.
but whatever.
I enjoy puzzles like this.
It's a lineal story that branches every few hours. That's just the game's nature.
Yeah, I know. It's just his nature. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I was trying to say to the other guy before I was watching the video. Like it's obvious. Everything in the game is damn obvious, and it's trying to sugarcoat your path
You were able to get out?
to make it seem like it's more complicated than it is. But it's quite linear. That's why I wish I could do things my way, because I kind of know what's going on. What?
Mizuki must be having a hard time.
But the cage is gone. We can get to Mizuki now.
Do you not see the horses spinning at hurricane speeds?
You can do it if you try a little.
No, you can't.
All right, fine. We have to stop the spinning.
Okay, so for this one, I might actually do the same thing I did before, simply because I pick how did I stop it before? Oh yeah, kick the panda's head. Or at least I think I
You
did.
have 3 minutes, Dante.
The panda head is...
Spinning. Oh, it wasn't spinning before. It was just there. Spin more. Stop.
Why?
Maybe it's like the speaker before.
I see. These were also linked.
That's right.
Mizuki!
Let's go to her.
Got it.
If you want a game like that, you should play Disco Elysium. That's the true open-ended detective story.
Yes, that's what I
This
was
game
saying.
is for the people that ain't.
Yeah, that's what I was telling. That's what I was telling my friend before I played this. It's like, I really don't want to play this because I have a feeling this might turn out to not be like Disco Elysium. It might just be some type of weirdy stuff with panties and perversion and all this crap that has nothing to do with criminal investigation. And Dante is simply there for exposition. He's not really like a detective. It's like you're supposed to be the detective. Make her laugh. Slap her? Why would I do that? Hug her. Maybe that's what she needs. Make her. I don't think making her laugh. Hugging her. She might need a hug.
Mizuki.
you can't simply expect a game to be something that isn't trying to be.
Yeah, I know.
This is a visual novel bit a role-playing game.
Yeah, I know. I know the people who made this didn't make it to be a
Very
truly
different in nature.
detective. Yeah, I know. They didn't make it to be like a detective investigation game. They made it to be a quirky, bizarre, surrealistic butterfly effect that has investigation in it. They made it to be weirdy. That's what they made this game to be. Weirdy. That's why I say this game will never go beyond a 6, because it wasn't made to be a specific type of things. It was made to be multiple type of things. It doesn't have an identity because it's not one thing. It's many things. And because it doesn't have a proficiency, it cannot be classified as any one thing. It's not like Horizon Zero Dawn or like Elden Ring. It's all over the damn place. If you're going to be a thing, you have to be that thing. And then you throw everything else in it. One thing has to be dominant. When you watch a Scorsese movie, it has to be dominant in that one thing, and then everything else can be the sugarcoat topping. But this seems like this is not one thing. It seems like this is many things. But it's trying to be one thing. It's trying to be an investigative game, but it's not coming across as one.
It was made to be a detective story, like if it was a show, but with some alternative scenarios.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like a detective story at all, my man. Doesn't feel slightly like a detective story at all.
Dante!
I feel like I am the only one that's the detective and everyone
like
else
she
is
can
playing
talk
footsie.
again.
I feel like I'm the only goddamn person who's the detective in this game and everything else is footsie. Like, the game is supposed to have some sort of intelligence to it, but it feels like it doesn't. It feels like it was just thrown in there to throw
Anyway,
it thrown
in
in
this
there.
branch Mizuki now talks, so enjoy the butterfly effect.
Yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy the butterfly effect. I'm just gonna enjoy this game for what it is, but this is nowhere near Disco Elysium, and in its best day. It's what it is, and that's what it'll be for what it is. I'll keep this game in the 6. It's pissed me off too many times. Okay, so I can't have Aset getting killed again. So maybe if I say the wrong thing to Mizuki, Aset might die again. What about the figure I saw? I already know who the figure is. Are you hungry? Why would she care? Who sent you the message? Already, that was the first thing I asked. I'm not gonna ask that again. Huh. That's a dumb thing to ask. No, I think Mizuki was the first person I spoke to. I'm going to speak to the boss first about Mizuki's muteness. Thoughts on the suspect. The boss might actually turn out to be the killer. So I'm not gonna ask her anything that's related to the suspect. About what I saw in Somnium. Do you have any questions? Let me ask her this.
Right, there was
It's indeed not Disco Elysium, not even the same genre.
Yeah, I know.
Comparing
It's not
them
the
is
same
like
genre.
comparing Super Mario 64 and Resident Evil.
Yeah, I know.
When I got there,
But the detective work is
The
actually
ice
in the
was-
game. That's what I'm comparing it to. It's detective aspect, not everything else. I know that they're very different. It's just that it's detective story. It's detective story is what I'm comparing them to. It's poorly done. Not everything else.
it was stuck in my mom's eye.
Remember, I actually, well, I shouldn't say remember to you. The first guy that I played the game with, and he was talking to me about just like you are. I told him I specifically picked up this game because I heard it was a good detective story. Not that it was a different genre, because it has a good detective story. So from a detective story point of view, it's poorly done.
I couldn't think straight. The only thing I could think was I had to get it out.
So you panicked and pulled it out.
Yeah,
And you held on to it when you hid in the column.
yeah.
About Mizuki's muteness. Thoughts on the suspect? No. About what I saw in Somnium.
Okay, let me give you the good news. You do
Okay.
more
No need to
detective
report
stuff in this branch.
We saw it all from here in the control room.
He's doing more text.
What the
Okay.
sinker sees in Somnium is projected here.
Well, at least that's
remember?
good.
We've got it all recorded.
But I mean, to be honest with you, man, I don't think this will go beyond a 6. I have this as where it is right now as a 6. If it climbs a couple more points, it might get close to a 7, but it will never go beyond a 6. It has too much perversion in it, man, and it has a branching path where a bunch of Yakuza guys start shooting guns, capping off rounds at a little girl. I mean, like, and Dante allowed her to come with in a shootout. He's a detective, a grown-ass man, decided to allow a little girl to come within a shootout. And then they start shooting at the little girl. Literally start shooting at the little girl, and she took a pipe and start knocking dudes out. None of this game makes
Okay,
any
not
goddamn
everyone
sense.
has to like the things I do. I just wanted you to know how the branches work.
Yeah, I know. It's cool, man. You can like what you
Isn't it
like.
incredible?
But there's a lot of
Anyway,
questionable
we know
things
about
in
the
this
figure
game.
you saw.
Perversion, child endangerment, a lot of questionable stuff in this game that the people put in this game. You could create an entire dissertation about the questionable things that are in this game. Womanizing, dehumanizing.
I wonder who that could be.
This game touches on a lot of questionable subjects for why it included those things in this game. Those were the main reasons why I lowered it, not because of everything else, but those reasons, specific reasons, and the fact that I can't go in the branching path I really want to. The perversion is off the limits, man. Every single damn scene.
Yeah, I'm glad she's talking again. You healed the wounds in her heart by syncing with her. Well, you meaning you and Iba.
The boss has extraordinary perception. I deserve much of the credit for helping Mizuki recover her voice.
All you did was follow my instructions.
Date, Mizuki needs you. Protect her. Okay, just one more question. This is very important. When you pulled out the ice pick, was Shoko's eye still there?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
The eye socket was empty.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mizuki. That was very helpful.
Boss shines in moments like this. She doesn't hesitate to ask anything.
Now we know that Mizuki did not remove the victim's eye.
When we got to the scene, it was definitely missing.
BTW, don't worry about choosing all the dialogue, you won't change the main story with that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was saying before. It doesn't even matter if I choose all the dialogue, it won't change. I basically have to pick specific things and then select everything else after. Because the game is weirdy like that. I can't just pick one thing and then close it out. It won't allow me to leave unless I select every damn thing. I don't know why it does it, but whatever. How does Iba pair Somnium? Since I know Pewter is one of the accomplice towards the bad guy, I'm not going to ask him anything suspicious about the figure I saw.
No, that. I saw it too.
Who or what do you think it was?
Most likely someone Mizuki saw in person projected into her subconscious. Dreams can only be constructed from images and experiences the subject was present for. Mizuki's Somnium couldn't have contained that figure if she
Okay.
didn't see it in person.
Okay, so at least we know Mr. Ota is off limits. Because the size of this person is a certain size, a certain height. Typically when someone remembers someone that's dangerous, those things are specifically amplified as exact. If someone was short, they would see exactly in their mind as someone short. If someone was tall, they would see a person as someone was tall. This person was obviously someone who was tall. So Ota is at least off the hook.
Of course, not everything we see in our dreams looks exactly the same as it did in the real world. You saw some strange things in Somnium earlier, didn't you, Date? That event you experienced is obviously not as it happened in reality. Dreams are a collage of many memories, intertwining and blending with each other. Your skills as a sinker allow you to untangle those dreams and solve mysteries no one else can. In a normal dream, the person experiencing the dream cannot remove themselves from it. Dreams are first-person experiences. However, the circumstances are slightly different during a sync. The sinker dives into the subject's mind and experiences
You see,
their subconscious
In the other
thoughts.
timeline you had the phone ringing and that made you find the phone and from then to Sentima.
As though you
In
were
this
watching
timeline
a play.
instead,
The subject is the author, director, and
butterfly effect.
the sinker is
Yes.
merely the audience.
Apparently, yes, and that's the thing I was saying with regards to the other video. That originally we started with a murder Shoko Nazami, which was a standard detective story, but then we went into stuff that had to do with the sync machine here, and then we met Mr. Ota, and later on he starts talking about conspiracy theories and butterfly effects and stuff like that. And the whole butterfly effect thing didn't come into play until halfway into the game. So how that started to come about is after you went into the Somnium, not the first time, but the second time you start to, I guess you could say once Date realized he could affect things in real life from Somnium, from the sync machine in the future, that's when I started to think about things related to butterfly effect, or at least tangent worlds, or dimension where alternate realities are connected towards each other, because that's what this is all about. Butterfly effect in conjunction to parallel round, and then up and down, and then up and down, and then up and down. They are all parallel lines to each other, and each of these represents different dimensions associated with this, connecting them together as part of the brain. So going to different areas of a butterfly affected world, but they all exist. They just exist in different time dimensions. That's all it is. So that's where the whole thing deviated from just being a standard murder mystery into something that has to do with science fiction. And then came the shady organization, whatever they were, I forgot their name. But then the game went into something that has to do with devil worshipping and stuff. I'm like, where the hell is this game going? First we're getting into parallel worlds, then we're going into secret science organization, and then we went into devil worshipping. I had no idea where the game was going after that. So that's why I was saying those things.
Hey, can I pop this cherry?
Date, you sounded quite proud of that. Perhaps you'd like to repeat it?
No thanks. It's not the...
There he goes again. There he goes again in his perversion. It's like every damn scene is something perverted. It's so annoying. Like, he cannot say anything or do anything that's not perversion. You can't say that's part of his characteristic. It just come across as creepy all the time, every damn time. Are you hungry? About the figure I saw. Yeah.
Say, Mizuki, who was that figure I saw?
What?
Insomnia, in your dream. I saw a silhouette.
Date, Mizuki would not understand the question. She does not experience somnium as you do. You are witnessing a dream inside her brain.
Never mind. Did you see anyone at the merry-go-round the night you found Shoko?
I did. I saw someone in the corner past the merry-go-round.
Who did you see?
I don't know. It was dark and raining. They looked scary, so I hid inside the merry-go-round. The door was open a little bit, so I snuck in. I'm fine now. But I didn't forget your promise.
A promise?
Ramen. You said you'd take me.
So you heard that, huh?
Aphonia only affects speech. Her hearing should still be intact.
Sure, Mizuki. When we're all done here.
I can't tell you.
Why not?
Because I don't want to.
That's not a reason. You were at the scene of the crime because of that Nile message. Whoever sent it to you is a prime suspect.
I don't think she is going to answer. When she is in a mood, it's impossible to get her to talk. That's the kind of girl she is.
Sometimes I think you know her better than I do.
How long do you think I've been observing her?
It's been 4 years now.
Correct. I know things that even you do not know.
Like?
And here's another thing about this game that's unrealistic, and why you have to just go with the flow. Who cares what if the girl doesn't want to talk or not? She's part of something that's a crime. She has to talk. You can't force her to talk, but she has to talk regardless. Otherwise, she'll be... I don't know. How. Here's the thing. I've never been a police officer before, but I'm pretty sure there's been situations where children has to speak up with regards to a situation. Otherwise, if they don't and they know something, there has to be a way to get that information out of them. You can't use force, but there's a way. And if this game is telling me there's not a way to do it, then the people who made this game do not know how to do that either.
Actually, never mind. Some things I'm better off not knowing.
By the way, we already looked into Mizuki's cell phone. Unfortunately, the contents were wiped.
I'm tracing the sender of the Nile message through other means, but it's taking me some time.
I told you I'm fine. So annoying.
I annoyed you already, huh?
The pressure is annoying.
What pressure?
Force over area measured in pascals, dummy.
I see she is back to her usual self. Her attitude is within normal parameters.
I think I liked her better when she was silent.
How would I know? We still don't have enough information. Continue your investigation, Special Agent.
That's very suspicious. See, that's why I left that one off as the last one. I specifically left that one off as the last one. She's my boss. I've been doing this investigation with her the whole time. And everything from the beginning of finding Shoko Nozami's body to now. And I've been relaying information back and forth with her. And she would say, well, your thoughts on the suspect, how would I know? So your boss is this dumb, doesn't know anything? Very suspicious. I already know Peter is guilty as hell. I'll ask him the suspect question last.
Iba is linked to your brain with an artificial nerve. To put it more simply, Iba is a part of your brain. During syncing, your consciousness is sent into the subject's somnium. Part of Iba's self is also synced, but only a part. Not all of Iba's functions are transferred into Somnium.
So that's why Somnium Iba is so dumb.
Don't call me dumb.
Hey, Pewter, when we were in Somnium earlier, Iba was in human form. She's never looked like that before.
That was Iba's idea.
What?
I thought you would be more pleased. I designed it to your taste.
What part of that was my taste?
I know everything inside your mind. You don't have to hide it.
Pewter, Iba's broken. She's talking crazy.
I am not broken.
Perhaps Iba admires the human form.
It's not that. It was just a little something. I consider Kaname Date to be my host. I owe him gratitude. I simply thought that appearance would make him happy.
Why would that make me happy? Pewter, who do you think the culprit is?
Well, let's see. Perhaps it was you, Special Agent Date.
What?
I'm kidding.
Yeah. Yepster. He did not say that before the last time I was speaking to him. It's like the game automatically knows that you probably know who it is, but it's gonna delay you. So it's whatever.
Anyway, I get the story. Mizuki witnessed a suspicious person at the scene, but she didn't get a good look at them.
Maybe there's something at the scene we missed. Date, could you return to the scene of the crime? There might be more to Bloom Park than we first thought.
In all honesty, I should not have asked Pewter about the suspect. I might have actually tipped him off or something. I screwed up just now. But at least I get to have the story from Mizuki's point of view. I think I'll end this around the next 30 minutes. I'll continue the
Somewhere
rest tomorrow.
around here, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta jump on Warframe around 9 o'clock anyway, so... I mean, I appreciate the fact that it's giving me different branching paths, which is good. But it's not like
This isn't Disco Elysium. Normal dialogue don't change the plot.
Yeah, I guess. This game is just weirdy to me, man. I mean, it doesn't fit the whole investigation bit. It fits its own, I am what I am, and what I am is what I am. Well, what you are doesn't necessarily appeal to everyone. It appeals to few, but not to many. When you make games like this...
So far the story only branches in 2 points.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Should I even talk to Mizuki? About the suspicious figure. Well, she says she didn't know who the suspicious figure was, so why would I ask her again? Do you remember anything? Didn't she just tell me that before? Are you cold? Oh, this is her mind. Fine, I'll ask why are you cold? Not like it matters. But...
What do you care? You never cared about me, ever. And I liked
Exactly.
it that way. I don't want you getting close to me. You think I like you now because I hugged you after the sink? Did you think, aw, how sweet, she likes me? Don't get it twisted. I only hugged you because you were standing right in front of me. Could have been anything. Could have been a pole or a cactus. In fact, I wish it were a cactus. So stop worrying about me, okay?
So she says.
Yes, Mizuki is just a bratty kid dealing with trauma in her own way. But I knew she wasn't going to give a shit. Well, I can't use a map, and there's a bench here. And there's this. I can't zoom out. Buildings. Maybe someone's looking down from a building. Cityscape. But that's dumb. That makes no sense. The Ferris wheel is the most logical point. But the Ferris wheel is like... that doesn't blink. Yeah. The Ferris wheel is like a gigantic eye. And it actually looks like a person inside the eye as well. To me, the Ferris wheel was the most suspicious thing for this entire damn crime scene. But the game is not going to give me what I want. It'll give me whatever the hell it wants. Kabuki District, Cityscape. I guess I have to talk to her.
Yeah, I do.
What do you remember?
I went to this amusement park when I was little. I was 4. I remember it so clearly. This is where I saw my mom and dad smile. I had so many happy memories here. The only happy memories I really have are from here. Memories of my family are so bright and colorful. But now, this is where Mom... Nothing. Just wondering where this goes.
Iba, what's past here?
This leads to the subway.
The subway?
It has of course closed down. It is no longer in service. This is due to the explosion at the chemical plant that occurred years ago. The surrounding district of Kawasaki was contaminated and declared off limits. Bloom Park closed for the same reason.
Yeah, it didn't occur to Mr. Genius Date to know that there was a subway around there. Like, it didn't occur to him to investigate that entire area. He just went in, looked at the Ferris wheel, and peaced out. Nor any other cops that were investigating the area told him that there was a subway located near there. Or associated, connected to the park. I don't know, man. Like I said, the investigation part of this game is kind of questionable.
As did all commerce and industry in Kawasaki. This means the railroads and public transportation to and from this area were shut down as well.
The subway. Iba, does the entire track run underground?
No. The track leading northward from Bloom Park eventually rises to ground level.
At a railroad crossing?
Correct.
Then the tracks must cross a surface street at some point.
Correct.
Iba, do me a favor. Can you see if any cars were driving on that surface street last night?
Searching.
Hey, you've been quiet for a long time. Are you okay?
I'm just thinking.
I've got something. I picked up a single vehicle traversing that street last night. A black SUV. I ran the plate through the vehicle registration database to find the owner.
Who was it?
Shoko Nadami's ex-husband and Mizuki's father. Renju Okiura.
The game desperately wants you to think Renji is the killer. And like I said
So let me get
before,
this straight.
if he actually turns out to be Renji, actually is the killer, I'll be like, this is so dumb if he actually is Renji. But whatever, let's just keep playing.
You think that Daddy drove his car on the tracks through the tunnel, stopped at the closed down station and carried Mom's body to the park?
I can't prove it was Renju. There's a chance someone else was driving the car.
Yeah.
But, in any case, I know that the suspect must have used the subway tracks. That explains why there were no cars parked near the scene. Using that subway station, he could take the body right to the merry-go-round without being caught on camera.
Daddy didn't do it.
I am not so certain.
Either way, I have to talk to Renju. And you can help me find him. Hey Mizuki, tell me again. That person you saw at the merry-go-round.
No, it wasn't Daddy. I know it wasn't.
You're sure?
Well, I don't know. I think about a week ago, when I went to hang out at Lemon Escape.
Did you notice anything different about him?
Nothing really. He was the same as usual.
And he didn't come to see you in the hospital, did he?
No.
Not even for his own daughter.
That is very unusual.
I don't want to say anything. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to anyone who thinks my daddy is a killer.
Look, I don't want to believe it either. I've known him for more than 5 years now. He's like family to me. Mizuki, Renju sent you that now message, didn't he?
What?
I got this buddy of mine. Real bad personality, but real good with technology. Got some help from them.
Bad personality?
It was a message sent at 8:05 last night. Does it sound familiar? Mizuki, Daddy got caught up in something serious. Please come to Bloom Park's merry-go-round right away. Daddy needs your help. Please do as I say.
Yeah, that was it. It was from Daddy's phone. But I didn't want to say anything because that would make Daddy a suspect, so...
So you kept quiet.
Yeah. My dad's never said anything like that to me, ever. That he was counting on me. I had to go.
But you invited Ota along.
Bloom Park is in the middle of the Kawasaki district. There are a number of homeless individuals in a high crime rate there. Mizuki must have been worried about going alone.
But it couldn't be him.
Why not?
Daddy couldn't have sent the message. Someone else must have used his phone. And his car. Daddy wasn't driving the car either. Somebody else did it. The killer did it, not Daddy.
The only evidence we have so far leads to one conclusion. The cell phone and the car were both operated by Renju Okiura.
I don't remember. It was a while ago. What about you?
What about me?
you try calling him?
I did. I called earlier, and I tried a few times last night.
And he didn't pick up?
No.
Date, incoming call from the boss.
Connected.
Alright, so here's the thing. I already know Mr. Prisoner 89 was in a relationship with Tommy. I already know Renju was in a relationship with Shoko and Madame. I already know Ice's little prediction of how Uncle, what was it, Uncle killed someone and then was punished by, or Uncle killed Osiris or something and then was punished by a brother and stuff. So that whole thing with Hitomi possibly dying and then her boyfriend possibly dying and it's all wrong. He went to prison and she didn't die. Apparently it could have been that Prisoner 89 killed someone very close to the murderer, and the person he killed very close to the murderer I actually wanted revenge, and that's why we have our little dealio going on here. But I'll keep biting. You know, I kind of figure out I know where this is all going. I was kind of spilled the beans in a way, but not completely. So at the moment the whole uncle thing was involved, kind of knocked off who were the certain people who were the actual murderers. That's why, listen, I'm not fooled by what's going on. I have my four suspects. My four suspects are still alive and in concert. Alright. Aset died towards the end. Game over. So to keep her alive, I have to do something. So Aset is crossed out as suspect. Because apparently, if she dies, then she can't be a murderer unless she decides to kill her own self. Which makes no sense. And Pewter is aligned with the suspect, so Pewter is crossed off as the actual murderer, but he's aligned with the suspect, so Pewter's crossed off. Which only leaves Aiba, which is aligned with Pewter, so is either Aiba gone rogue, or is Hitomi in this piece. So, it's either Hitomi or Renju. I would be surprised if it's actually Renju, and I wouldn't like it at all. But if it's actually turned out to be Hitomi, I wouldn't like it at all either, because they're both so damn obvious. If it's the boss, however, I would give this game a full point, because I didn't see it coming, and it didn't show anything that it could possibly be the boss at all, except for that one scene where it says she was actually with the organization 6 years ago when Date got unconscious and lost his eye. That's the only thing that has her in the suspect lineup, but not 100% a suspect. So I still need more evidence.
Hey, I just got the report from Aiba. Renju is a suspect?
It's definitely suspicious.
I agree. I think he's our number one suspect. He's been acting strange since last night. He didn't come see Mizuki in the hospital.
You're acting strange as well, boss.
And he vanishes.
And every time you suspect other people, you're slowly getting suspected yourself.
He doesn't?
No, not one we can corroborate. No, I told you he vanished. Where are you headed?
Renju's house.
Don't bother. I had local cops search the place. Didn't find anything.
Where could he be?
She had local cops search the place, and this dude is just gonna believe her through the entire beginning of the game to where he is. He's not suspecting everybody else. He's supposed to be suspecting everyone. Alright, so I would still go check this place anyway, regardless if cops went there. About Renju's questioning. Why did you release Renju? She might become wary if I ask about his questioning and why he released about Renju's alibi. I might actually get some information from his alibi. So let's see.
Shoko's time of death was estimated to be about 5 p.m. yesterday. Renju claims that he was at home alone at the time, but that means no one can back up his story. He didn't give us any new information. He didn't have much to say at all, really.
So Renju was questioned at a local station?
That's right.
Then why didn't you keep him there?
Protocol. Nothing we could do. He wasn't a suspect then, and we had nothing to charge him with. We couldn't hold him.
Alright, boss. Let me know if you find something.
You too. Keep me in the loop.
Where the hell did Renju go?
Sun poke?
What?
Sun poke. Or something.
Oh, Sunfish Pocket. Renju was telling me about that place. It's a maid cafe that he runs.
I found it. Approximately 6.2 miles north-northeast. In Akihabara.
Can't be.
Yeah. Like I said, too obvious to be Renju. So unless this is a robot, this dude is dead. So that crossed Renju out of the suspect list. Which leaves only one person, Hitomi and the boss.
Wow, now it's getting more interesting.
Yes, it's only Hitomi and the boss now. The only two people. So remember when I was saying relationships and that whole little Prisoner 89 and Prisoner 89 so he knows who the murderer is? And Iris' little Egyptian stuff about Osiris and Seth? Yeah. My suspicions were kind of accurate. Well, not entirely. Not until Hitomi pops up into the mix.
You look awful. Have you been sleeping?
My best friend was murdered, boss. I don't have it in me to sleep right now.
Okay, so let's sum things up. Since the game ain't gonna do it our way, we're gonna do it our way. 6 years ago, Mr. Date here, genius detective, which really isn't genius, was knocked out or damaged or something by a criminal, turns out, which was probably the killer, and his left eye was removed. And she happened to have found it. So I would put her now officially in the suspect list, because now Renju is crossed off. So now she's now replaced Renju. And during that 6-year period, he was also associated with this. Now, he didn't actually create the machine 6 years ago, or prototype was made about it 6 years ago, and it was stolen. Mr. Sai, or whoever that guy name was, politician, was probably doing shifty stuff back in the past, associated with Mr. Criminal 89 in order to do certain deeds. And the actual real criminal probably set things in motion from since way back then and used Mr. Date here in order to cover up his own murders and stuff, which the killer probably was doing for quite some time, of certain things. Or this could be the first time the killer decides to kill someone, but that someone happened to be related to someone very close to Date. And that was where this whole story started with Shoko Nadami. He just happened to know Shoko Nadami. Otherwise, if the killer didn't murder Shoko Nadami, we wouldn't have a story because Date is not associated with Shoko Nadami. And the only two things that Shoko Nadami and Date has in common is one removed left eye, and I believe Date was stabbed as well, but or something like that. He was stabbed, but he didn't die. He was saved. So Mr. Unknown Person turned out to be Prisoner 89, who killed someone that was very important. We don't know who he killed yet, but Hitomi fell in love with a guy who was a killer. That was very strange. Why would you associate yourself with someone who is a killer? Now, let's pretend for a fact that Uncle is of Osiris. Seth killed Osiris. Let's say Uncle killed Hitomi's true father, or should I say Aset's real father, or whoever Hitomi was with killed him. And then somewhere down the line, Hitomi found out who that was. Of course, she doesn't tell any of this to Prisoner 89, but she started to slowly set things in motion. But maybe that's not the case. Maybe this is who it is. Right here. That's the person she went and killed. The person aligned with this woman. Her personal husband or boyfriend or something. One woman would take that person on one to murder the person who did that and set everyone else up to take the fall or to blind everyone's path. Now, we're in a deep basement here, and she's very all about happiness and to make sure sadness is around. So nothing here is ever considered suspicious. It's actually good. That's why I would say she was the least suspicious of all. Because everything was happy-go-lucky, and it makes sense. But then she started to speak about stuff that was related to a woman is fickle, and I didn't follow the rules when I was a boss. That's how she's in control and stuff. But yes, she does everything by the book at the same time. So she's a living contradiction. That's what slowly pushed her towards being a suspect. That and many other things. But Miss Hitomi seems like she's more the suspect than she is. So I have two, and I can't put my finger on which right now. But there goes my 4 suspect list. I crossed off Aset, I crossed off Pewter, and I'm left with Hitomi being the only person amongst that 4 left. And my interesting parties were Pewter and the boss here. But then Pewter became a suspect when he started to babble off certain things. But then I crossed him off as being one of the suspects when I realized he was correctly associated as one of the criminals in association with the actual murder, but wasn't the murderer himself. So I crossed him off simply because he's not the murderer, but he is an accomplice towards the murderer himself, which leaves only Hitomi and her. So I knew Renji couldn't have been the actual person, and I would be pissed off if it was actual Renji, and I would toss my controller on the damn floor and say this is a failed game. The people who made this game wouldn't have been that stupid now, would they? Or maybe they could have been. But even if it turns out to be Hitomi, I still wouldn't be satisfied because she's so obvious. So if it turns out to be Hitomi, I'm not going to be as upset as I'm with Renju. I'm still going to be upset. I'll still keep the game in the 6. But I won't be as upset if it turns out to be the boss, because I didn't see that coming. Because it didn't actually show any sort of evidence until it was revealed she was part of the whole organization 6 years ago. So yeah, those are my two remaining suspects now. Mr. Gangster Kamakura, Mr. Nejima, Mr. Prisoner 89. I always knew that those people, and anyone else, including Ota and Mizuki, and anyone else shown in this game, were all sugar-coated toppings. I knew my four suspects were always my four suspects, and I knew if it wasn't Aset who's the murderer, it would be one of the other three. And she only was the person I did not see coming, simply because nothing was there to show that she was a person seen coming until it was revealed. So now she's involved. But the main person will probably be Hitomi. It'll probably be Hitomi. If it turns out to be the boss, then I'll give this game a full point. If it's not the boss, it will stay within the 6 range. So let's move on.
Of course not. I still got a mountain of work piled up, answering to the higher-ups, the press. I'm just taking a little breather. She's sleeping at the hospital. They're going to give her counseling after she wakes up.
I see.
Her mother and her father. I hope she'll be okay.
Two murders, one right after the other. How could I not be?
Oh, he's upset, all right, because this alternate world, or whatever you want to call it right now, apparently this dude is probably in love with Renju. He had a thing for Renju, so he will be upset if Renju is dead. It didn't go the way you expected, did it, Pewter?
Am I not allowed to be here?
No, I didn't mean it like that.
I was here first. I was just talking to the boss about Renju's murder.
Okay, so previously, before Pewter helped Prisoner 89 to escape, probably at the behest of Renju himself, allowing Prisoner 89 to escape, which means Mr. Murderer, whoever murderer is, interrupted Renju and Prisoner 89's little events based on the fact that I've taken another path, Mizuki's path this time. So that politician is now out of the running either. I'm not saying he's a suspect, and I'm not saying he's an interesting party towards a suspect, but he's associated with what's going on. I wouldn't be surprised if he's being used, or he's part of that little shady organization and helping the criminal. So it's all connected. It's just figuring out who is exactly associated with who. That's the hard part. Any thoughts on culprit? Like I already know this guy's a culprit, and he will say anything to not identify himself.
Renju had his left eyeball removed.
Right. Shoko too.
So perhaps, Mr. Date, you are the killer.
This
You're
is the second
missing
time
the
he's saying
left eye, so you
this is the second
steal
time
them
he's saying
from
this.
others. I'm kidding. Only a joke.
I'm too tired for your jokes right now, Pewter.
Actually, you lost your eye 6 years ago, correct?
It's weird how Pewter keeps
Yes,
going on
I don't
about
remember
this.
anything from
And we
back
already
then.
know he's associated with
I lost
Living
my
Prisoner
eye and my
and
memories.
Renju will.
I was transplanted into your empty eye socket a year later.
Okay, so apparently in this little dimension, Pewter... See, here's the thing. Pewter is crossed out as not the actual murderer himself, simply because he's associated with Renju and Prisoner 89. Why I crossed them off? And also crossed them off because it's kind of obvious now that at this very moment, I couldn't put him as the murderer anymore after crossing it off, connecting dots towards Renju and Prisoner 89. So him bringing up Dante being the actual killer, knowing that the fact that Aiba was created by Pewter and everything, it's kind of weirdy. It's kind of weirdy that he's saying this, because then he's actually identifying himself as a killer as well. But he's not coming across and saying it that way. He's saying it honestly and sincerely, believing that it's actually Dante. But it would also identify him as being the killer as well. But we know for a fact that he's not the killer. He's guilty of helping Renju, and he's guilty of helping Prisoner 89. And he could be aligned with the killer, but he's not actually the killer. So if Dante turns out to be, or Aiba turns out to be the killer, it would mean, like I said before, Aiba went rogue. Oh, I completely forgot. I did forget. My 4 suspects were how did I forget about Aiba? See, I'm so concentrated with Hitomi and the boss, I forgot that Aiba was still in the running. So it was Hitomi, it was Aiba, it was Pewter. It was Hitomi, it was Aiba, it was Hitomi, Aiba, Aset. I have to remember Hitomi, Aiba, Aset, and Hitomi, Aiba, Aset. Yeah, and it was Pewter. And I had the boss as suspect as an interesting party, and I had the invisible man who wasn't revealed to be Prisoner 89 yet as the unknown. But later on, it revealed that Prisoner 89 was known, which basically brought him into the forefront and basically X'd out Pewter, since it's now revealed that Pewter, Renju, and Prisoner 89 kind of have connections. That's where I X'd them out. So it's kind of weirdy that he's asking these questions before, which, one, I completely forgot about my Aiba, that she was still in the running. So it's not just the boss and Hitomi, it's Aiba as well. I completely forgot Aiba was there as well. Well, I didn't forget, it's just that I skipped over it.
We have been together for more than 5 years.
So it's kind of dumb for Aiba to go rogue all of a sudden. So I wouldn't say, I don't think it's Aiba. It's too obvious as well. But if it turns out to be Aiba, I'm cool with it. Just like the boss. If it turns out to be boss, I'm cool with it. I'm not cool with it being Renju, and I'm not cool with it being Hitomi.
You were the first on the scene, so you know this better than anyone, but Renju was murdered. No way this was a suicide. And the fact that his left eye was removed tells me that this was the same killer as Shoko.
The serial killer.
The new Cyclops killer.
I'm telling you right now. I swear to everything. If it turns out that it's actually Aset, if this game turns out that it's actually damn Aset, I'm like, okay, so she died at the end of the game, but she actually is the murderer? So I was right about robots being in this game as well? I have no idea, man. If it turns out actually Aset, I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked. Not shocked as in good shocked. Shocked as in this game is laughable shocked. But I don't think it's Aset. I don't think she's a robot. Or she could come back from the dead. Or it's an alternate dimension Aset. I'll be like, what the hell is going on? Can I just stay in one dimension?
What?
That's the nickname that's been spreading around headquarters.
New?
Yes, several years ago.
Pewter.
There is no point in hiding it from him. He would find out on his own eventually. It's all over the news. These murders have gone viral, so to speak. The killings from 6 years ago have continued. The Cyclops killer is back.
6 years ago? Is that what you were talking about, boss?
Yeah. There it is. Now I remember. See, you have to log your own memories down. Otherwise, this game will try to screw you up. First suspect was Aset. and Ota together. Billy Loomis is Stu Marker. I remember saying that. I suspected ASAT. Second suspect was Iba. Third suspect was Hitomi. Fourth suspect was Mr. Dante. No, wait. ASAT, ASAT and Ota, Iba, Jesus. Hitomi and Pewter. Those were the four. And then Mr. Hidden was 89, was the unknown. And then Boss was an interesting party. And that's it. Okay, so I'm still on the roll. ASAT is still in the running. Like, so no, ASAT is crossed out. I crossed out ASAT. ASAT is out. Her dying at the end of the game, no, she's out. If it turns out she's actually alive, we're like, what the hell? So it's still Hitomi and the Boss. Yeah, I'm still good. I mean, it could be Iba, but highly doubtful. It's too obvious. Because if it's Iba, then it's actual Pewter. And Pewter's completely crossed out, so it's not Iba. Otherwise, it's Pewter as well. Yeah, so I'm still good.
Fine. I suppose you deserve to know. We have a name for it down at HQ. The original Cyclops serial killings. To distinguish it from this new one. It was 6 years ago in October. 4 bodies were found in the mountains of Akikawa Valley.
But the decomposition of the corpses were all at different stages. They were each killed sometime during May to September of that year.
But they did have 2 things in common. They were all young women. And
each corpse was missing their right eyeball, pulled out posthumously.
a few days after the corpses were discovered, the killer sent a statement to the press. I killed them, and they are now my dear companions. Something like that.
He signed the statement under the name Cyclops. Hence the name, the Cyclops Killer.
The Cyclops is a mythological race of one-eyed giants. According to Greek myth, they are the children of Uranus, god of the sky, and Gaia, goddess of earth. Cyclops were known for their outstanding strength and smithing ability.
So the letter to the press wasn't a fake? It was the real killer?
Yes, it had to be.
A picture of one of the victims right after she was killed was sent along with the letter.
No, in 6 years we never got a single trace.
So maybe Cyclops is responsible for these murders as well.
No, that's impossible.
Why?
For one, the original Cyclops killer only killed women. Renju doesn't fit that profile. Second, all of the victims had their right eyes removed. But Shoko and Renju...
We're missing their left eye.
The timing of the eye removal is also inconsistent. The original Cyclops killer removed the eyes after the victims were killed. But Shoko and Renju were both still alive.
But even so, you can't say for sure this isn't our guy. Maybe they're just doing things a little differently now. Or do you have another reason?
I'm sorry, Date, I can't say anymore.
Bullshit, you can't.
It's a national secret.
How can it be a national secret?
Date, please, forget about it. I told you already, you don't need to know anything about that case to investigate this one. The criminal for this case and the case 6 years ago are not the same.
Iba, bring up all investigation records of the original Cyclops serial killings.
I already had a look through the database while you were talking. Unfortunately, I found no relevant information. I also did not discover anything of note on the internet.
Yeah, like that's not suspicious whatsoever at all. Like one doesn't have anything to do with other, but they're so samey. Like even if you're dealing with a copycat, you still have to go over files associated with things relevant towards what the original killer does and what the copycat, what relevance they might have to each other. For someone to say like you're not supposed to go into, you're not supposed to dig, that doesn't come across as suspicious whatsoever. I don't know, man. It's like someone's purposely blocking my boy Dante. Well, I won't say he's my boy. He's not that bright, but it's purposely blocking your path to actually get towards what you're supposed to get towards. For reasons that makes no sense because it's not like it's not obvious. But whatever.
Only amateur theories. All lacking credibility and evidence.
Damn it.
That's all we have for now.
All right.
Special Agent Date, we need you to continue your work.
Right. I think I'll head back to where Renju was found. Sunfish Pocket.
Date, you're exhausted. Why don't you get some sleep before you continue your investigation?
I'm fine. Let's go, Iba.
Understood.
Yeah, the boss is turning out to be more suspicious as you're going along. I think that it's the game started specifically make the boss more suspicious. That's what makes her, I guess, less suspicious because it's starting to slowly make her more suspicious. I guess my senses are going off telling me, yeah, it's the boss. It's the boss because the game is now making it seem like more like it's the boss. So either is the boss and the game is trying to close out its own window and reach towards the end goal, or it's just another sugar-coated topping blocking your path thing specifically. And it turns out to be Hitomi, who I don't want it to be, but it'll probably end up being her after all. But if it is the boss, then I'm cool with it. I'm good. Let's see what goes on.
Date, the vehicle is accelerating 2% slower than usual. Did you put anything in the trunk?
No?
What about the back seat?
Back seat?
Mizuki!
Hey, watch out! Eyes forward, stupid.
Oh, come on. I want to eat a sandwich here, Mizuki. But it's whatever. What? Okay, fine. I guess I gotta put my sandwich aside. Alright. Okay, what are you doing here, Mizuki?
I ditched the hospital. They're probably freaking out over there right now.
I'm taking you back.
No, don't! Nothing will change if I stay at the hospital all day. You're going to investigate, right? Take me with you, I can help.
How is a little runt like you gonna be any help?
I'm Renju's daughter. Maybe I'll notice something you don't. Something only his daughter would know.
I don't know.
My daddy was killed. I can't just stay at the hospital.
Fine. Don't say I never did anything for you.
You're going to take me along?
Just promise not to interfere with the investigation.
Got it. It wasn't locked. I just opened the door. I've been here for like 10 minutes. Why don't your doors have auto locks? I know you like old cars, but you gotta lock the doors.
You should be a little more apologetic for someone who just got caught breaking into my car.
Mizuki does raise a valid point. If you are not more serious about security, you should consider replacing the car altogether.
You too?
No, it's more like I don't like sitting still and moping all day. I've grown out of my brooding, pretentious teenager phase.
Odd thing for a preteen to say.
Are you not aware of Mizuki's mental prowess? She is far more developed than her classmates. She is even reading psychology papers by Alfred Adler.
Sounds pretentious to me.
You were talking to yourself again. I heard you. It's creepy. You should cut that out.
Yep, and there it is. That's why I still keep Aiba in the running. You know, when someone talks to themselves, like if you see someone on the streets. I mean, I know that Aiba's in his head and he communicates in his head, but the game is trying to tell you certain things as you're playing it. Hidden things, normal things that I guess you could say to identify people who are questionable or questionable being around. It's trying to guide you towards a path to show that potentially it might actually be Aiba / Date here, which is possible, but it's too easy. That's why I still have Hitomi and Boss. I mean, if it is Aiba, then it has to be the boss controlling Aiba and bypassing Pewter. But that's why I say it's more likely it's Hitomi or the boss. It's too easy for it to be Aiba. I mean, Aiba going rogue. Like, there's nothing to hint that Aiba was going to go rogue. So, I don't know. Who knows? Let's continue.
Yeah, I know there's no reason to hide it, since she already knows about Abyss. But it's just hard to explain. I won't say anything yet.
Understood. But I am ready to be introduced at any time. Just let me know when the time is right.
It's not a proposal, no need to be so formal. Shit, I said that out loud.
Date, I think you should go to the hospital. Well, I can still talk this time. Maybe I'm just getting used to it.
Mizuki's psychological wounds have been healed by the sink.
If you have nothing to talk about, you don't have to say anything.
Fair enough.
You're an adult, shouldn't you know that already? If you start talking about the weather, it means you have nothing to say.
Damn. What a brat. Hey, about Renju. Do you have anything to tell me? Anything at all that might help?
Well, it's not about Daddy, but I heard from Daddy that Mom had a secret.
Shoko had a secret?
Did you know that Mom was the representative of an investment company?
Yeah, I did.
That whole company was a big scam.
Scam?
Well, I don't know the details. They start up a company to get people to invest in it, then shut it down on purpose and keep the money. She got really rich like that.
Shoko did this?
Yep.
By herself?
No, dummy. Of course it was with other people. I saw gangsters there sometimes. If she ever got into trouble, she had them take care of it.
I am scanning all known crime databases, but I cannot find any reports referencing this. They must have been extraordinarily careful.
I'm not okay.
So, you want to go back to the hospital? I'd be more than happy to drop you off.
That's not what I meant. Why are you always so pushy, Date?
I'm not pushy, I'm just worried.
You've got a weird way of showing it. Doesn't look like you're worried. You're just weird.
You've always got something smart to say, huh? Just like Renju.
Date.
What about Daddy?
Nothing.
You have no tact, do you? This is why you're single and always will be.
That's where you're wrong, kiddo. I look like a single father when you're around. Chicks love it.
Yeah, chicks love to see creepy old men hanging out with a 6th grader.
Hey, what are you implying?
Ooh, did I make you mad? Now I'm stuck in a car with an angry old creepy pervert.
I am not an old, creepy pervert. And even if you were my age, you're not my type.
Ew, I don't want to know about your type.
Hey, you started it.
Stupid old man.
Punk-ass kid.
Ah, Detective Date. Good to see you, sir. And this is...
Have you looked through the case file yet?
Oh, I am so sorry. She's the victim's...
Yes. Please let us through.
Alright, so I'm ending this in like 15 minutes. I went over like, I think I was supposed to end this like 10 minutes ago or something. Well, I guess I'll end it in like 15 minutes anyway. It's almost 8. So yeah, I'll end it in like 15 minutes.
What?
I was asking for your name.
My name is Kagami.
Oh boy, here we go again. He loves to pick on Kagami. I don't know what it is about Kagami, but he just loves to pick on him. He knows who he is, but he just loves to pick on Kagami.
It's Kagami.
Okay, so if something doesn't different happen with Kagami, then that means the game has officially repeated the same thing from the very beginning of the game, with nothing more interesting other than him doing the same thing all over again, which is not interesting in the slightest.
Kagami? I told you it's Kagami! I told you my name like 5 times!
I would be surprised if actually Kagami is the killer, simply because this guy pissed him off. That'll be a true surprise if Kagami is the killer.
Hey you, what's your name?
Seriously? It's Kagami. Stop bugging him, it's rude.
Excuse you? My best friend, Kagami and I are having a conversation.
Yeah, don't spoil our fun.
What?
Ah, there it is. There it is. Impressive. Impressive. How about the only thing impressive about this entire game? Can you believe that? Can you believe like the only thing that's impressive about this entire game from the very first time I pick up this game to play this game, the only thing impressive in this game was Kagami and Date having fun from the very beginning. That there was nothing wrong whatsoever. No one would have saw that they were actually playing footsie with each other, playing a game. There was no indication whatsoever that they were playing a game with each other from the very beginning. Nothing. No indication. But now Kagami has revealed it. That they actually do this to each other. Intentionally. That's the most interesting thing in the entire game. Not who got killed, not Mizuki, not Shokugazami, not the boss. Can you believe it? I can't believe this game. The only thing really interesting in this entire goddamn game is Kagami. Give me a freaking break. Kagami is the killer now. I want Kagami to be the killer. He's not going to be the killer, but I want Kagami to be the killer.
Once this is over, get some rest.
The only thing they got right in this game was Kagami.
No, we didn't find anything today.
I bet you when they made this game, they probably don't even realize the smartest thing they did was Date and Kagami. They're probably so fucking stupid they don't even realize they created a gem right here. Oh my god. Alright, moving forward.
How could I forget? I'll never be able to get that image out of my head. Not until the day I die. I thought I already told you. Sitting around rotting away in that hospital would be worse.
Still.
I know what you're trying to say. For a little girl to find her dad like that and then want to go back to the scene, you think it's totally weird, right?
In fairness, it is also weird for an adult policeman to acquiesce such a request from a child.
But this is what I wanted. I didn't want to run away from it. I wanted to confront it. I didn't want to be weak.
You were telling me earlier that you could spot things only a daughter would know.
I know what I said. I'll tell you if I notice anything. Did you hear me? I said I'll tell you if I see anything.
Nothing special.
What are you staring at? Creeper.
I agree.
Is that a spear?
It more closely resembles a harpoon of sorts. I believe this is a trident.
Any chance this was used in the murder?
No. There are no traces of blood on the trident, and no indication that Renji was stabbed.
Dragon's Palace Pasta, 1800 yen. 1800?
Isn't that pretty average?
This is average?
The capacity of this oil drum is 200 liters. It weighs approximately 44 pounds when empty.
Let me check inside. What?
There's something inside. This is the oil drum.
This is the kind of oil drum that has a lid, right?
Correct.
Let's open it. This is... This is the wristwatch Renju always wore. No doubt about it. But how did this get here?
Each keg has a capacity of 20 liters. All 3 kegs were filled in approximately 55 pounds each.
Jeez, you're pushy. Pushy men are seen as desperate. This is why no one likes you. Besides, Date? Never mind. Just do your investigation or whatever.
What was she gonna say?
Now is not the time to worry about such things.
Iba, can you check the operation records of this elevator?
Searching. Found it. The elevator records are sent automatically to building management. According to the record from yesterday, from 6:30 p.m. until the body was found, this elevator stopped on the 2nd floor only once. At 8:55 p.m. The weight of the car's cargo was approximately 310 pounds.
Iba, did you get anything from the surveillance camera?
Unfortunately, no. All of the recordings from local surveillance equipment have been erased.
What about backups?
There are none. Nothing was uploaded to the cloud either.
Hey, are you doing okay?
Oh, sorry. Just staring.
If you're having a hard time, you can tell me.
I'm fine. It's not like the body is lying here.
Are you really okay?
Yeah, don't you have an investigation to do, or are you stalling?
The corpse was strung up near this counter.
The autopsy report indicates that the contents of the victim's intestines were excreted upon death. But no traces of that have been found in the area, nor on the corpse itself. This evidence makes it highly likely that Renju was killed somewhere else. It must have been considerably difficult to carry more than 150 pounds.
What do you mean?
Renju weighed approximately 158 pounds. I can estimate a person's weight by analyzing their bone structure, muscle, and fat.
Aiba, can you recall the time we discovered the corpse?
Of course. The autopsy report discovered the presence of benzodiazepine. It is a common sedative. The dosage found in the victim's bloodstream was extremely high. It can be assumed that Renju's cognitive functions were heavily impaired before his death. The time of discovery was 10:20 p.m. You of course already know this, but you and Mizuki were the first to discover Renju's corpse. The body was hanged from the ceiling, similar to how a fish would be. A thick hook was embedded in the upper jaw, and the wires connecting to the hook were strung up on one of the ceiling beams. There was also a hook on the other end of each wire. The 3 beer kegs were attached to these hooks. We have found no fingerprints.
strangulation?
Correct. The face shows clear signs of congestion, along with petechia around the face and throat. Both are clear evidence of asphyxiation.
Any indication of the murder weapon?
Most likely a twisted piece of cloth. The culprit approached Renju from behind and wrapped the cloth around his neck, choking him in an attempt to suffocate him. The specific cause of death is cerebral circulation failure due to vessel closure in the neck. Put more simply, the suspect strangled Renju to death from behind.
Do we have an estimated TOD?
Yesterday, around 8 p.m.
So Renju was murdered about 2 hours before Mizuki and I found the body.
This case bears similarity to Shoko's. The left eyeball was removed while the victim was still alive.
I think we've checked everything we need to.
I agree. We should compile our evidence and inferences.
Okay, I think I'll stop it after this. So apparently whoever this person is, gave Renji a type of sedative, probably in a food or in a drink or something. And once he swallowed it, it basically turned him into mush. He wasn't able to probably move hardly any of his body, which allows the killer to actually, before the strangulation happened, pulled out his eye. So he was probably in deep pain after his eye was pulled out, but he couldn't raise his hand to do anything because of the sedative. And thereafter the killer went and strangled him. So the killer took his eye first before he strangled him to death, because if he strangled him to death, why would it say, it was removed while the person was still alive? But if he was strangled to death, he wasn't still alive, unless he was strangled to death first and there was a type of beating within the body. There's still pulse within the human body or within the body of the person before they completely died off. So could have been strangled and he lost, most of his memory, his mind, everything in his body shut down, but he wasn't fully dead. And then because he wasn't fully dead, he had no physical way to know that the eye was being removed from his body. Probably just suffered some shock to the brain, but couldn't do anything about it. So it's probably strangulation after, strangulation before the eye was removed and the body was still somewhat alive during the process, or the person was even more bolder and took the bolder path and removed his eyes before he strangled them. Either way you see it, the eye was removed when the body was still alive. I mean, he was going to die either way, but he could have actually survived if the eye was still inside of the head, unless the sedative he gave to Renju was going to kill him off anyway, and the strangulation just sped up that process. So you just got to find out who has that type of sedative, and since it doesn't really matter, strength is a factor, since sedative was added to limit the person's strength so that the person can be either a woman or a man, if a sedative is actually placed in to weaken the foe. So sedative, the plucking out the eye thing is somewhat, is very relevant, but now sedative was involved, so anyone could get sedative from anywhere, to be honest with you. So sedative is not that big of a deal, but a specific type of sedative would be more important than a random type of sedative. Perhaps a specific type of sedative that knocks off muscle movement or completely kills off the person. It really depends. What's most important is that Renji was probably killed on the second floor, brought down in the elevator with the person who did the killing, dragged out inside of the barrel, the barrel when he was placed in the barrel while moving, and then it was taken out of the barrel, and his watch fell off inside of the barrel. Clumsily, the person left the watch off in the barrel, or purposely left the watch in the barrel, and then hanged him from right here. So he was probably killed on the second floor. I don't know why he doesn't just go, Dante just go on the second floor and investigate the second floor, but I don't know, maybe he will do that.
Mizuki,
who knows?
you ready to leave?
And he's leaving. He's leaving. He's not going to go on the second floor and check the second floor. He's just going to leave. Whatever. Okay, so I'll just play along.
What? But we aren't done investigating.
What do you mean?
There are still people I want to talk to.
He was strangled at 8 o'clock, but the elevator was accessed by 8:55, it says. Let me see. Second floor last night. 8:55. And with 310 pounds. So this person was killed 8 o'clock. And then the killer waited almost an entire freaking hour to bring the body from upstairs down here. Now, what were they doing up there? Hooking Renju's body on, posting like. Okay, so they probably had the whole meat hooks and. Oh, I know what they were doing. Yeah, I know what they were doing. They were cleaning up the crime scene, making sure nothing relevant was up there, and also prepping the body to hang the body. So they're making sure that this surveillance is wiped, any type of blood or any type of evidence linking them towards being on the second floor is wiped, or any presence of them being in the elevator and walking down here and then hanging them up here was wiped, and probably purposefully dropped the watch inside of the drum. And that's it. Took them an entire hour to do that. I'm a kind of slow-ass killer, to be honest with you. Almost an hour, to be honest with you. But let's continue anyway. Let's see what happens.
Well, there is one place. Have you heard of Golden Yokocho in the entertainment district? Daddy used to go to a place called Marble a lot. Maybe they know something about him.
Alright, so I'm ending it here. It's already past 8:15. Actually, let me go to Golden Yokocho.
Yeah. Daddy owned Lemniscate and Iris works for them. She used to work here too.
So she might know something.
I'll call her.
Yeah, Iris is probably in one of
Have any
her
idea where she might
meeting
be?
or something.
I don't know. Iris is into a lot of things.
Yeah, Iris could probably be online playing games. Whatever. Don't bother Iris. She's just doing her thing right now. Ota might actually know something.
Yeah. Oda is in here all the time. He might know something. I'll call him.
Ota's phone is broken. He dropped it in a puddle.
Oh yeah, yep,
Sounds
he
like
dropped
Oda.
that.
He's so clumsy.
We'd have to talk to him in person.
He's probably at Lemniscate or Matsushita Diner.
Mr. Genius Date didn't even thought that, oh, okay, Oda is always using a computer. Shouldn't I get an email to this guy to contact this guy? I have to contact him by phone. This is why I'm saying this game is kind of slow in that regards. There's plenty of ways to communicate with people. Let's head out. Okay, so I'll head out and I'll
Lemniscate,
continue on.
Matsushita Diner, and Marble. Let's head out.
I'm telling you,
Okay.
if it turns out to be Aset is a robot or something, I'm going to be pissed. But if it turns out to be, he told me, I'm also going to be a little bit pissed off because it's so her and Renju were obvious. If it turns out to be the boss, or it turns out to be someone else I didn't suspect, then the game did a good job. Actually, I want it to be Kagami. That's who I want it to be. I want it to be Kagami. I want it to turn out to be Kagami. Kagami is the murderer. If it turns out to be Kagami, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 if it's Kagami. I know that makes no sense. It probably doesn't. It's not relevant whatsoever at all. But the game seriously pissed me off that I want it to be Kagami. You know what? If it actually turns out to be Kagami, and that means the whole intention of the game was to piss you off, so that it actually turns out to be Kagami, then from that factor they've passed. But from the factor of actually Kagami not being relevant whatsoever at all, they're failed. So I'll give it like a full point for it to be in the sevens if it turned out to be Kagami. But I won't go beyond that. I won't be going beyond that. If it turns out to be Kagami, I will say, oh shoot, that's great. At least you're able to satisfy me in that route. That is Kagami. And Kagami is the one that saves the day. That the murder is
Is
Kagami.
this it?
I'll be
Yeah.
happy. Well, so I'm ending it here because I have to do something
You
before I
know
jump
about
on
this
Warframe.
place?
Yeah, this is where I met Renshu for the first time.
But you know what? If it actually is Kagami, if it actually turned out to be Kagami, it still kind of is a failure in a way because there's nothing relevant hooking it to Kagami in the slightest other than him being there investigating. Nothing in the game pointed towards Kagami. No hints towards Kagami. Nothing related towards Kagami. So if it actually turns out to it being Kagami, it will actually be a failed game in that aspect. But I'm only going to give it a point for it being 1 point and making it a 7 if it's Kagami. Simply because the game pissed me off and I want it to be Kagami. But I'm ending it here. I gotta jump on Warframe in like an hour and a half. Yeah, about an hour and a half I jump on Warframe. At least when I play Disco Elysium, I won't have this much trouble. But like you said, this game is very different from Disco Elysium. But if it turns out to be Kagami, I'm very happy. It's not a successful game if it's Kagami. It's just that I want it to be Kagami now. Because I don't care. I want it to be Kagami. God damn it. Alright, so I'm ending it.